Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Happy Wednesday, Huskers fans. We're over a week and a half away, or just about a week and a half away from the Huskers spring game, and this morning, offensive coordinator Mark Whipple sat down with the media to talk about the competitive quarterback room that's developing here for Nebraska, but one that is full of cooperation.
I think it's one thing, but the way, everybody's competing, but I think they're helping one another out. It's a good room. That's important. You know, they're helping one another out. You miss something talking about it. There's guys that are talking a lot in the meetings and on the field. So, you know, there's not anybody else. There's not any animosity in the group. So they're all trying to get better at different levels and trying to build a library for each of them so that we come back, I can go over with it, you know, before we get to summer. But they'll study all their plays that they've had.
We'll hear from Coach later in Hour 1, along with wide receiver Oliver Martin. You'll also hear from Husker men's basketball forward Derrick Walker in Hour 2 tonight as he discusses his decision to return to the Huskers next season. No other big college basketball games as a calm before the storm as we get set for as the March Madness tournament starts to wind down. No NIT action on tonight either, but plenty of college baseball and softball on tonight. And in the Big Ten, Maryland was unable to top George Mason as that one is final 3-1. Rutgers got it done against St. Peter. St. Peter's baseball not having the same luck their basketball program did. They lost 17-1 to Rutgers today. Michigan State took on Youngstown State. That one's ongoing. It's 8-5 Sparty in the 6th inning. Michigan is also in action right now against Oakland. They're having some problems, losing 14-7 in the 8th. Toledo and Ohio State battling it out in Ohio. It's 3-0 Buckeyes. It's the Huskers' next opponent in baseball. That game is currently in the 3rd inning. St. Bonaventure and Penn State is a 2-1 game favoring the Nittany Lions. That one's in the 3rd as well. Postponed tonight was the matchup between Purdue and Indiana State. In D1 softball, Indiana and Kent State are in it was a crazy one. It was Indiana pulling out that one in a 14-11 wild barn burner of a game. Toledo and Michigan State are tied up in another good one. That's in the 7th, so that could go to extras. Indiana State and Illinois, they're just getting started, and then later tonight we'll see Kent State taking on Indiana again in the second game of that doubleheader. That one's set for 6:30. That's the ticker. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The 0-2 from Stracco, and Bredwell swings and lifts it to left and deep, and it's good! A 2-run home run for Ava Bredwell.
The 0-1. Ripped right at the shortstop. Matthews back to second, and it is a double play. They pick off Flores, who had gotten too far off the bag.
Andrews swings and hammers this one deep right field and gone! A rocket halfway up the bleachers in right field for a home run.
The 3-2 pitch. That's ripped into center field. That's a base hit. It's a gapper in the left center field. Chick scores. Anderson around third, being waved home. The relay throw to the plate, not in time, and the Huskers have taken a 2-1 lead.
Ibarra swings and hits this one high in the air, deep right field, and it's gone! Ibarra and Andrews go back to back.
Hit on the ground to second, might be 2. Second base 1 on to short. Matthews relay throw to first in time, and C.J. Hood, the freshman, gets a double play ball and gets the Huskers out a little bit of danger here in the top of the 6th inning.
And Gray swings and blasts it, deep right field, it's gone! It's gone! Sidney Gray with a 3-run home run!
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back, another show of Sports Nightly on a midweek night. Great to have you back with us. Good to have Jessica back with us. Hope you had a good couple days.
I did. Got to go home, see the fam, spend a little time down there. I will tell you, Greg, it was 90 degrees on yesterday. Well, no, 2 days ago, Monday. So it was warm all weekend. My dad was out at the golf course. You asked me, I should have gone out to the golf course because it was that pretty. It was kind of windy, but it was nice. Good to see the fam. Got my dog back. He's been staying with my family since I was traveling with women's basketball. So, yeah, it was nice to see the fam.
Good time to get away and get your breath caught because we've got a spring game coming up on us now, 10 days away.
Yes, and I'm excited. First spring game, and I know there's a lot of buzz, but then it's just been, you keep hearing every interview that I do, something comes up about the competition that's been happening between the offense defense. So it seems like it's been a battle out there, and I know they'll split it, but I bet it's going to be pretty competitive come 10 days?
I know. How about that?
Wow.
We're going to talk some football. Mark Whipple had a press conference today. Interesting comments from the Husker offensive coordinator about the way things have gone for he and his group as he's breaking in a lot of new players at those skill positions, the quarterbacks, the running backs, and the wide receivers. We'll hear from one of the wide receivers, not one of the new ones, but a guy that had an impact last year, but I think can have a bigger impact for the Huskers in 2022, and that is Oliver Martin. That's coming up later in the hour as well. So more football chatter coming your way here in just a couple of minutes. Want to really jump into some college basketball. We're down to the Final Four. The women get their semis on Friday night. The men is on Saturday. And it was a big day yesterday, about 3 hours apart. Sam Hybie announcing she was going to take advantage of her COVID year and come back. And then Derrick Walker followed suit later in the afternoon.
Yeah, two big returns for both, for Husker Nation, but for both programs. Kind of had the feeling maybe a little bit that Sam would be coming back, and but I know she wanted to take some time and really think about it, and she was just such a big part of making sure that chemistry was what it was last year, which was so important to them winning so many games. And because you think about how huge of a key she was and how big of a, I mean, she was this team's best player a year ago, and the way she kind of stepped back and deferred and kind of allowed for Jazz Shelley to come in and do what she did and some of these freshmen to come in. She really was the glue that kind of brought everybody together and was a big time leader. And so, and then you see the way she can take over games, and it's just unstoppable at times. And so, and I still think the best is yet to come from Sam Hybie. So I think one more year at it, it'll be fun to see, especially because she hadn't been to the March Madness. She hadn't been to the postseason. Now she got a taste of it, knows what it takes, will be able to be, help this team get back and hopefully advance further in a year. And Derrick Walker is because of his leadership. He's been around. We saw his growth a year ago too, and he's going to talk about that coming up here in a little bit. But just, he had a good year last year, but he still thinks he can be better. And then just getting his leadership back to help all these new pieces coming together too is massive for Coach Hoiberg.
They're interesting in some ways because they're opposites, because you're right. Sam kind of went back for the betterment of the team, but there were games, and I think of two, at Minnesota, and really the NCAA tournament game, where she kind of had to take over because other things weren't working, and she's got the ability to do that. And Derrick, who's been a bit of a role player, really his whole collegiate career, midseason, Fred Hoiberg said, we got to change what we're doing. We're going to run our offense through Derrick Walker.
Yep.
And so he had to kind of step up, and I thought he played really well for this team.
He did, and I mean, and we talk about this too with him, but 68% field goal percentage.
Amazing.
That would, and I had to call Seamus because I wasn't sure what the exact numbers were because he's not on the top of the statistics, but I guess it's you have to have a minimum number of makes. And so he's about, I think, 11 shy of the minimum number of makes you have to be qualified for those statistics. So he's pretty close to being on those. But if he would be at the top of the NCAA, not just the Big Ten. He'd be leading. It would be the best field goal percentage in the entire country. So, and I mean, he still contributed. What did he average last year? Round double figures, right? So I think just seeing his aggressiveness kind of pick up too was key too. So I think he sees that. Maybe a light bulb went off a little bit, and he'll have to be more aggressive next year.
We said we would know a lot about both these rosters by the end of the month. I think we're kind of set on the women's side, right? I think all the decisions have kind of been made.
Has Bella announced?
I thought Bella said she was leaving. Maybe check on that for me. But
I know.
She put out something last week that was a little cryptic on social media where she said, "Thank you, Nebraska." But I don't know if that was a total thing. But you're right. Bella could be still up in the air. But on the men's side, we don't have finality on Trey McGowan's. Or Lat Mayen is another guy that could come back this year. So, and those guys certainly have some time, but I would guess Fred Hoiberg probably needs to kind of know whether he needs to fill roster spots or not. So here we are, March the 30th. We do have one more day in the month, but don't have finale on those two players.
Yeah, I guess Bella said, her name is Isabella on her Twitter. So Bella said, "Thank you, Nebraska," with the heart. So didn't really
it's cryptic,
say
right?
One way or another, but I know she has the option to return. That being said, though, with the announcement of Ruby Porter and Michael Caton, you do have maybe a couple roster spots. So maybe some news with the transfer portal coming there. So that might be depending on what Bella's final decision is, there might be some movement there with the transfer portal. But other than that, yeah, I mean, Sam was definitely the big name. We were waiting to hear that news for sure.
Yeah, it was. So still some probably moving parts on the men's side to move forward, and we had Sam Griesel on the program last week. I think Husker fans are really going to enjoy watching Sam play. Homegrown kid, grew up a Husker fan. It's going to be great to have him, but I think there's still some news to come this way. Also, the young men who signed with Coach Hoiberg in November have now all sounded off on the changes on the staff, and they're all 100% committed, according to Ramil Lloyd, and we heard from Keita, the big center from Coffeyville, so that's a good sign.
Absolutely. I think we'll continue to see really positive things happen from seeing what Bryce McGowan's does as well, because you've talked about it a lot when you brought Coach Hoiberg in. It's well known across the country. He has a style that translates well to the NBA. And so I think if you have a guy like Bryce who goes pretty high in the draft, that bodes well for recruiting. I think you're going to continue to see, and guys want to play that style. We've seen it a lot in the NCAA tournament. So I think, a lot of those players that kind of want to be an offensive-minded guy and play fast and all of that will still want to come play in that system.
Well, the Big Ten is done for basketball. It's over. The Michigan women were the last hope to get somebody into the Final Four. They came up short in their regional final, getting turned back by Louisville. The men, disappointing tournament, quite honestly. This is a league that's not had great postseason success in recent years. There's a lot of theories out there about that maybe they're not guard heavy enough, and guards generally win in March, and maybe the Big Ten needs to pump up there. The women's side, I thought they played better. You had a very good representation in the Sweet 16, but I don't know that any of us thought that they had a Final Four caliber team. Good Sweet 16 teams, maybe an Elite Eight. Michigan made that. I
was really thinking that Ohio State had a good shot, but ran into a tough Texas team that, it was athletic and had a lot of, they're so good defensively, Texas is. So, and Ohio State, they're great. They're one of the best offensive teams in the country. So Texas able to slow them down to kind of advance there. But I was hoping that maybe 2 or 3 teams might try to sneak into the Elite Eight. But yeah, I agree. I don't think Michigan could match up with those teams in the Final Four. And at least it's not all of the number 1 seeds. At least UConn snuck in there as a 2 seed. Right. But I do think the way that there were some upsets and some things that it didn't just go chalk the entire way, even though there are 3 number 1s and a number 2 in the Final Four. I think the way that there was a little bit of chaos is good for the game with the women's side. We see it in the men's side, but we haven't seen it as much in the women's side. So the fact that there were some upsets along the way, I think is good for the game.
Hard to call UConn not a...
I know, but they're the 2 seed.
I know. A lot of talk about them, though, being basically playing at home as a region final, which was in a lot of ways unfair to NC State to have to go basically in their backyard and play.
It's funny. My mom doesn't really know a lot about everything, but she said, we were sitting there watching a lot of the games, and she said, how is that fair that UConn gets to play at home? So, I mean, it's a fair question.
Right. I mean, those sites were prearranged, but maybe UConn shouldn't have been allowed to play in that site. Maybe they should have been put to a different region.
You'd think. I mean, look at the college football playoff, right? The number 1 seed gets to have. Right. They don't match it up where it's unfair to the number 1 seed. So you'd think that you'd match. Yeah. You'd put the 2 seed in that region. Maybe that's not UConn. Right. In the Bridgeport, Connecticut regional.
Well, Texas was like a 2 out west. You could have moved Texas east and moved UConn west. I don't know. A lot of people were talking about that. The men's side, it's as blue blood as blue blood can get. I said this on Monday's show with Kansas, Carolina, Duke, and Villanova, who's certainly become a blue blood with their performances the last couple of decades. Andrew's obviously in hog heaven because Duke is in the Final Four, but I don't know. I mean, they got to play their arch rivals, the Carolina Tar Heels, in the semifinals.
It was funny leading into that. You saw all the tweets about no matter which team would have won, we were going to have a dream matchup, right? So if it was St. Peter's, you got the Cinderella keeps dancing, or it's North Carolina and Duke matching up for the first time ever, right? So, we like to have a lot of fun around here with Andrew, right? But none of us are for Duke. But... me, I came here tonight because Andrew is not going to be here tomorrow. So I came rocking my Tar Heels.
You got your Tar Heel shirt on.
Brady Manick right here. I worked in the Minute, Oklahoma, and he sent me this shirt. And I wanted to make sure.
I think Andrew just left the studio.
He walked out. I knew he'd be mad about that. But He can't even work tomorrow because he's going to be watching this game.
Yeah.
And then he'll probably won't work on Friday either because North Carolina is going to beat Duke.
He's going to go put on his Duke jammies, what he's going to go do. So it'll be fun. Women, again, start the semifinals Friday night. The men is Saturday night. Should be a lot of good fun basketball in the coming days. All right, that's what we have on the program tonight. Also, Kicking Back with the Cooks. A new podcast has dropped. We'll play you a snippet of that. Always fun to hear John and Lauren kibitz about a lot of different things, and we'll get into that coming up in the second hour of the program as well. And we want you to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400. Call, text. We're up on our YouTube stream if you want to get in there and have some fun with those folks. Always welcome to jump in on that one. Our Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first, 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. We're back with some clips from Mark Whipple, who met with the media earlier today. That's coming up next.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up in back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th. Play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is double. Don't miss it. Cash Blast playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000.
At Subaru, they love building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The redesigned 2021 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. An upgrade in horsepower means you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love, it's what makes Subaru, Subaru. Visit DeToe Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at DeToeSubaru.com. Upgraded horsepower available on select models.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Valley 365 is here, and the time is now to take your farming technology full circle. Valley 365 is the ultimate command center, the new single sign-on platform that brings together our tried and true technology and streamlines your entire operation. Combining the best features of AgSense, Valley Scheduling, Valley VRI, and Valley Insights, Valley 365 is the next level solution for connected crop management. Leverage your data, make the most of your time, and own your tomorrow. Contact your Valley dealer today.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pregame routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
You always dreamed of owning your own farm. Now you're living your dream, and it's time to pick the tractor that makes it all come together. Massey Ferguson has reinvented what compact and utility tractors can be and redefined what they do, making them easier to operate, more comfortable to drive, more versatile than ever. Massey Ferguson gives Nebraska farmers the power and performance to win in the field. Manzer Equipment in Osmond, Nebraska, your full-time Massey Ferguson dealer, proud supporters of the Huskers and Nebraska farmers since 1975.
When you're a sports fan, it's kind of like having a new love interest. You want to know all about them. Only instead of learning about someone's third-grade crush, you want to know the latest scores, stats, and lineups. To get that, you need Cox Internet. Cox gives you that window to look deeply into your beloved team's soul, not to mention their injury list. Cox, we're sports 24/7. Learn more at cox.com/sports.
From sprains and stitches to sore throats and sinus infections, when it's care that can't wait, count on CHI Health Clinic Priority Care. Simply walk in 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You'll get the quality care you need without an appointment, and you'll never pay more than a regular primary care visit. Get in, get out, and get on with your day. Find a location near you at chihealth.com/priority care.
Everyone knows that Dakota Mac is known for their great rates on long-term fixed ag real estate loans. But just how long-term are they? They're even longer-term than the silent treatment your mom gave you after she found out you backed over her peony bushes with the riding lawnmower. Even though it could have happened to anyone. Oof, talk about long-term.
Hello, it's Jim Persinger from Dakota Mac. Give me a call at 308-284-3260 to learn all about our competitive rates on 30-year fixed-rate loans.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network broadcast center, it's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Wednesday night. We were talking about the Final Four, and Andy in our chat room did say, this was a bizarre story. I saw this earlier today. Eric Church, the country music singer, has canceled a concert Saturday so we can go to the Final Four to cheer on the Tar Heels. And a lot of people were not real happy that bought concert tickets.
Hey, you got to understand,
Where's your passion?
And this is an epic, historic, once in a lifetime, and we'll never see again because since Coach K he's on his way out. So I understand it. I mean, I understand Eric Church fans might be upset, but I understand it. But I cannot wait to see what the TV ratings are for that game, because in a world where we've kind of seen some of those numbers take dips,
right.
I bet it's through the roof for this game.
It's bizarre. They've never played in the tournament.
I know.
As good as those programs have been,
it's because it's either 1 year, it's one team or the other. It's
right.
They never or both have good runs.
Earlier today, Husker football had another practice. They are turning the bend. It is about over for spring ball here in 2022. We got a chance for the second time during spring to hear from Mark Whipple, Nebraska's new offensive coordinator. And we're going to start off with a clip when he was asked, what's the best thing you've seen the last 3 weeks? And what's the worst thing you've seen from spring ball the last 3 weeks?
I don't think there's anything really bad besides some guys getting hurt. That's the worst part about the game. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. You got to play physical and tough. And the best thing is these kids are fun. They come to work every day. They fought through. Monday was a tough day, and you kind of, when you look at the schedule, you say, hey, you had a scrimmage, and then we had a practice on Thursday, we scrimmaged, and we went, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, got to come right back on Monday, six days and 7 with full pads. But I thought they did a really good job that way. But they're fun to be around. We had a walkthrough in here, which was something new that before the scrimmage. I thought there was an air of confidence, but a business-like attitude, which is what you want. You don't want them all being uptight. So that way. And we've had good battles with the defense. What I've always learned in spring practice, that if one side is dominating the other, you probably don't have a good team, but I believe we have a good team because defense has made plays, offense has bounced back, handled adversity, so it's a fun group to be around.
And Jessica, that echoes what we heard Monday from Chenander, Eric Chenander, Husker defensive coordinator, when he reviewed the scrimmage on Saturday. He says, they made some plays on us, we made some stops, we had a red zone stop, they busted off a big run. So he goes, when you're seeing plays made both sides, that's usually a good sign.
Yeah, and it's typically what you hear from coaches that are, you know, pretty pleased, even though a lot of them have one side or another that they might coach. But it is what you want, and you have to remember that, okay, well, it's good if you got one team making a play and then the next time it's the other team. But it's what we've heard, what I've heard all spring from these players, and it's been competitive, and it bodes well for this football team for sure.
He was then asked, has it been frustrating, because you and I have talked a lot about the players that aren't participating, those two offensive linemen that are out until the summer. Travis Vokalek is limited in what he can do. Purdy has not done a lot of things at quarterback. So he was asked, is it frustrating to install the offense with so many potential starters not able to go?
Not as frustrating as if we didn't have those guys, you know. They're going to be back. We know they're good players. So to me, it's a positive. We're just trying to be positive with it. We're building depth, you know, and so the more guys that we have, we're going to get guys hurt, and we're trying to say this. I think the one positive about Nebraska is we're running 2 thuds. We're running 2 skellies. We have enough players here. We have enough with the walk-ons and those guys that a lot of guys are getting reps, so they're getting better, and that builds your depth. We didn't have that at places I've been, certainly UMass, Pitt, even, you know, that way. We didn't have that at Miami. We didn't have enough guys when I was there, so that's really helped. And I told those guys, I said, you're really lucky to be here, and with a chance to get on film and get better. So I think our depth has grown, and we know we'll get those guys back come the summer.
Hey, Greg, I could tell you too. They didn't have that at Oklahoma the past several years. They weren't able to have 2 complete teams, and they had you know, pretty skim depth in the spring. When you really it really helps when you can build 2 full teams. It's
such a source of pride for this fan base, the walk-on program, and hearing it from a Whipple who's not from here, hasn't been here until 3 months ago, to say the same thing, I think backs all of that up. Okay, how about the quarterbacks? What has he seen from that group as they've made their way through spring ball?
No, they're doing good. Taking care of the ball better, which is, you know, I thought we were loose with the ball earlier, quarterbacks. Today we had an interception in the red zone. We're getting more work in the red zone, which will help us in the tight windows and 3rd down and things like that. So, but Casey's done well, Logan's done. Chuba's working a little bit more, so that's good to see him. Young guys are coming, so a bunch of really good kids that like the game and fun to be around.
Love that, taking care of the ball.
He was asked later, and I don't have this clip cut up, but about Logan, and he said, hey, Logan's a great athlete. He goes, we can do some things with Logan that we can't do with some other guys. And so it's interesting to hear a coach say, I can kind of mix and match what I do based on what who my quarterback is.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's the offensive geniuses from any level can do that, and they tweak things that they tailor it to what suits your quarterback best. And then, hey, you got a guy like Logan who is just impossible to try to figure out how to defend, you know, for defenses. And then you got a wrinkle that you can throw in with him because of his feet. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see what he does with some of these, not just the quarterbacks, but a lot of these weapons he has.
We learned a week or so ago that the tight end room's beat up. We knew Vokalek wasn't going to be able to do some things, but then we heard Chancellor Brewington is out. Fedoni has missed considerable time here in the spring. Coach Whipple was asked, how big of a factor are tight ends within your offense?
Well, we got some good guys. You know, Travis hasn't practiced. He's done stuff on air. But, you know, when I was at UMass and we had Adam Brenneman, who transferred from Penn State, I think he led the country at 146 catches in 2 years. And last year, Lucas Kroll was healthy. We lost like 3 tight ends the year before, so we had to go a lot more 4 wide. I think he had 50 catches, and the young kid, Gavin Bartholomew, maybe had 25. So, but we have capable guys there. And the younger guys are really getting better, understanding the scheme. So, I don't have a number. You know, the ball's predicated, goes to, you know, what the defense is giving you. Certainly we can get guys in certain areas. I think the size of those guys can help you in the red zone. That would be a place where, you know, we're 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" down there, where the windows are tighter and you got to be physical on catching the ball. And the speed's not as important as is, you know, learning, you know, about leverage on the defenders and those things. So we had sessions Monday. We did a little bit more today. We'll do a little bit more Friday in the red zone. But I see those guys being somewhat of a factor down there.
One name that he brought up, and Sean Beckton had a separate huddle with reporters, and he mentioned Nate Borkature, another walk-on who got on the field some last year for the Big Red. Nate and his brother are both on the team. Nate, they're from Aurora, a really good high school program out in central Nebraska, and that's where a walk-on can make a difference at that spot. And so Nate's a big kid, 6'4". He's very capable, and he's taking advantage of some of these other guys being hurt.
Yeah, and I mean, it's important to be able to catch the ball, right? I mean, we saw how big of a weapon that Austin Allen can be in some of those tight ends, how they can be an absolute matchup problem, but also the key is being able to protect and block, and what can you do in that aspect of the game. And so if you can find a way to get out there and do that, you're going to get onto the field in that role. And with Coach Whipple, it's just another one he can tailor things to whatever he might have, and knowing, I think it's good that you have some of these young guys that are stepping up, that you can take your time with Travis Vokulek and not have to rush him back.
Wide receivers, how about that group? How competitive has that been? Here's Coach Whipple.
Oh, they've done a really good job. I think we got a good leadership with some of the older guys, and Alante, we moved him, and we've taken some of the guys and moved them in a different position, so that gives you more depth also. So Alante's able to play 2 positions. Trey has been inside, but we'll let him play some outside stuff as we go. Oliver's done a good job. Omar's done a good job. Almost the younger guys, we've gone to some 4 wide packages, and that's given some guys some new opportunities. You know, just those guys have run a lot, and early on there was some little things that way, but I really like where we're going. We've got a deep room there, and you know, they're getting better every day.
Pretty encouraging, deep room. I like that.
Yeah, which we've been saying all along, that there are so many weapons. And I mean, Casey brought it up, and a lot of guys that have different experience levels can bring different things to the table, you know, and Oliver Martin, we're going to hear from him here coming up. But guys that there's some leadership, there's some young guys, and that coming in, I think these quarterbacks are going to really have a field day with guys that are going to be able to catch the ball for them.
I was really encouraged last week when your interview with Omar, that I feel like he's really on a good path right now.
Yeah, and I mean, just the fact that he stayed back here to get an extra work, and he is hungry, he's motivated, he's more motivated than he's ever been. He loves the game, it seems like, you know, and he had, when I talked to him last fall and about some of the things he worked through, kind of fell out of love with the game, and that is one thing that he has always had a deep passion for this game, and it seems like he's really found that again, and he loves this offense, and it's just he says it's the best he's ever felt. So I think there's a number of guys that are on the right path right now, for sure.
We've heard from a handful of players about how well they think they're running the football here in the spring, and that they're getting after people in the run game.
I asked Brant Banks today, give me one player that has really impressed you on the offensive side of the ball, and he said Yant. Again,
Yep.
Here we go again. And he said, you know, he's been a guy that we've seen what he could do, but this spring he's a different guy. He's a different football player.
And they really like Anthony Grant, the junior college transfer, and you know, Ramirez proven himself with what he did last fall. Here's Mark Whipple talking about the run game.
Well, I think Donnie and Beck and Aaron, the assistant to Donnie, they've done a really good job instilling confidence in those guys up front that we're going to run the ball, that I always want to be balanced. Might not be yards-wise, but plays and everything else, and one fits off the other. So I think those guys have done a really good job, and I lean on those guys for what they like, and then obviously Coach Frost brings a lot to the table that way. So we mix it. I think that marriage has gone really well. I think it's a lot of good things. There were a lot of concepts, and And those guys, I can just see their confidence growing, and I think that's a tribute to Donnie and Aaron. And Beck.
All right, now I'm in. Man, we're talking about the marriage of the offense between his and Scott Frost. Getting kind of excited here.
Me too. I was just thinking that. But the problem is, don't get your hopes up that we're going to see a lot of it.
We're not.
In 10 days.
It'll
be a very vanilla, stripped down version of it, but I can't wait to see more of it come the fall and what they continue to put in place leading up to kickoff.
Going to be fun. Hey, Nebraska 811 says, go dig red before you dig. Always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. We're back to hear from Oliver Martin, one guy who played quite a bit last year, even though he was hurt for most of the season. We'll hear from Oliver next.
Experience the difference at Woodhouse Buick GMC. You never know what lies ahead, so trust the powerful and innovative features of the 2022 GMC Sierra 1500. Its powerful engines and bold presence give you superior capability to handle what life throws your way. Advanced technology and safety features come standard to help you keep in command while on the road. Purchase in-store or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
It's the final days of Ford Truck Month. Your last chance to save big on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get a Ford Maverick or get after any adventure in a Ford Ranger pickup. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But get moving, offers are ending soon. Get to the final days of Ford Truck Month. Maverick has limited availability. See dealer for inventory stock.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska researchers are designing the next generation of roadside steel barriers through an industry partnership with Traffic's Devices. This partnership has produced the Delta Crash Cushion, a simplistic, effective way to keep drivers safe on highways. This barrier is vital for roadside safety and significantly improves the chances motorists will be able to walk away from roadside collisions.
And Burkhart grounds to second. Ibarra charges, flips to first in time. And Nebraska storms into Ann Arbor and sweeps a doubleheader from 19th ranked Michigan. They win the nightcap 7-4. After sweeping Michigan, Nebraska softball returns to Big Ten play when it hosts Rutgers at Bowlin Stadium this weekend. The series begins Friday at 5:30. Pregame at 5:20 on the Huskers radio network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
And Burkhart grounds to second. Ibarra charges, flips to first in time. And Nebraska storms into Ann Arbor and sweeps a doubleheader from 19th ranked Michigan. They win the nightcap 7-4. After sweeping Michigan, Nebraska softball returns to Big Ten play when it hosts Rutgers at Bowlin Stadium this weekend. The series begins Friday at 5:30. Pregame at 5:20 on the Huskers radio network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Show your style through every mile and get your Chevy your way. Discover the 2022 Silverado. From off-road adventures to navigating the city, this truck has the strength to take on what's next. A robust refresh gives the Silverado bold new looks and improved functionality. Plus, multiple trim levels ensure there is a Silverado that's strong enough to ride with you. Find new roads and explore all our inventory arriving daily at WoodhouseGM.com and at our dealership in Missouri Valley, Iowa.
Nothing goes better with Husker sports than Fairbury. Fairbury, premium quality hot dogs deliver the home game experience to your family and friends. The highest quality beef, pork, and natural spices give you the best tasting hot dog and your hometown favorite Big Red hot dog. Look for Fairbury hot dogs all year long at your local grocery store. Fairbury, the official hot dog of the Huskers and Nebraska fans everywhere.
At Great Western Bank, they understand what commitment to community means. It's more than setting up shop. For Great Western Bank, commitment means growing together and serving their communities. With more than 50 locations in Nebraska, they are dedicated to making life great. Thank you, Lincoln, for allowing them to be a part of this great community. Great Western Bank, member FDIC.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. During the summer of 2021, 3 UNL students helped safeguard cattle across the state. Neely Anderson, Tatiana Jones, and Ashton Commons developed secure beef supply plans that prevent the spread of disease outbreak. The plans protect nearly 850,000 cattle across our state and provide greater economic security for this vital industry.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Wednesday night. We heard from Mark Whipple, offensive coordinator, in the last segment. One of the groups he talked about was the wide receiving core, and one of those guys that got a considerable amount of playing time last year is Oliver Martin. You caught up with him today.
I really enjoyed talking to him. He's real low-key and chill, but he's really fun to interview and talk to. He's really smart, understands the game, and he's so experienced. He's been at so many different places. He's got a good perspective on things, too. So here's Oliver Martin today after practice. All right, well, how is spring going for you?
I feel like spring is going really well for me. Physically, I feel good. I feel like I know the playbook pretty well, and I feel like I've done a good job at showcasing to the coaches what I can do in the offense. I feel like I've made a good share of plays. So overall, yeah, I feel like I've been doing good.
I remember last year when I first got here, you were a guy that everybody talked about, that you worked so hard and that you really put in the time. How did you manage that coming off of last year going into this year, that working at your craft?
Yeah, that's always been something that I've done, is I like to put in extra work on top of what the coaches have us do. So we'll do lifting or running in the off season, and then there'd be at least 3 or 4 times a week I'd go out and do wide receiver work or drill work on my own, just to help build my confidence and refine the technique of being a receiver. And then if there's ever something I feel like I want to do a little bit extra lifting, I'll do that too. I've always kind of been like that, just extra work. So.
And when we talked to Casey Thompson a couple weeks ago, you were a guy that he mentioned by name that felt like he was really developing a relationship with. What's that been like on your end, developing that relationship, that chemistry with him?
I feel like we've developed a pretty good relationship this far. There's, like I said earlier, especially in the off season, we threw routes a lot, get the timing down, and then now in spring ball, I'll work with him a lot in like one-on-ones or the team periods, I usually work with him. So, you know, our chemistry has definitely developed a good amount.
How important is that to this time of the year to what you do in the fall?
It's big. It's big because during the fall you want it to be second nature. Like on game day, you need to be in the right spot at the right time because he'll have pressure and he needs to get the ball off. So, you know, he needs to be able to rely on you to be at that spot on a certain route. So,
describe where this offense is now compared to where you guys were when you had your first practice, 3 or 4 weeks ago?
We've come a long way. We were just talking about it in the receiver meeting. I think we have like 76 pass concepts in or something like that. So compared to the first day, first day is like, I don't know, 15 pass concepts. So, you know, a much bigger variety or just total amount of plays. So, you know, we've developed a lot.
And then what's Mickey Joseph like out there and in the meeting rooms too?
I love Mickey. He'll coach us hard for sure, and I think that's kind of what he's got the rep for, especially with the media. But he's an awesome dude. Like, all the receivers have great relationships with him. That's the first thing I noticed is he's so easy to talk to, and just about anything, not even just about football. He's just an easy guy to talk to, and I think that helps him coach better when he has closer relationships with the players. You know, the points get across easier, players can ask questions, and I think it's just more conducive for success.
I read an article from Jamar Chase talking about how prepared he was for the NFL because of what Mickey Joseph instilled in him in college. Have you kind of seen that a little bit? Is it not surprising to see that he has guys in the league doing what they're doing because of what he implements in his college meeting rooms?
Oh, yeah. I can totally see it with his coaching style and then his knowledge of the receiver position. You know, we hit on all the technique of a receiver position, from releases to top of routes to blocking. Like, we do all of it. Or as coaches in the past, you know, have had like just a small amount of drills that we do, and he works everything, which I like a lot, and I noticed about him. But then his coaching style, you know, complements that, and I can totally see like why he's got guys like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase doing so well.
What's the goal for this offense to be ready to take the field and you know, and again, it's spring game. There's a lot of hoopla around it, but to accomplish what you need to accomplish come a week from Saturday.
Coach Whipple says it all the time. The goal of the offense is to score touchdowns. You know, and he's an aggressive play caller, and he's got play calls for any situation or any coverage. So I think we're in a good spot to score touchdowns.
Gotta love that, Greg. Score touchdowns.
He's so chill.
I told you, he's just low key, laid back. He's a little surfer dude-ish, but he's got just such good knowledge of the game and a good perspective on things. You can tell he's kind of been around and seen a lot of different things, and it has a lot of experience to share.
Really good athlete.
Yes.
He just really is. He can run and do all things. Hope he has a big year. Good to hear from him. Hey, buckle up. Put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Our phone lines, they're open for you, 402-413-2400. That also doubles up as our text line. We're back to wrap up hour one next.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more. Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. the official foundation company of the Huskers.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it is safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief, nutrition, or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Don't let the cold winter worry you. As Nebraska's leading supplier of propane, you can count on Sapp Brothers to keep your family warm this winter. You're like family, and your safety is the #1 priority of Sapp Brothers. When it comes to your propane needs, Sapp Brothers has you covered. Visit www.sappbros.net/petroleum to find your local Sapp Brothers propane expert. Celebrating 50 years of fueling America's heartland and welcoming guests, Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
The bolder, the better. The 2022 Hyundai Sonata is reimagined with tech and safety features you want. With inspiring innovation and a bold new exterior, this is a sedan designed to be seen. Confidence comes standard when you shop Hyundai. You'll benefit from Hyundai Owner Assurance with America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Visit Woodhouse Hyundai off 144th and Giles Road or online at woodhousehyundai.com during the Hyundai Getaway Sales event.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse, first 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop, finance, buy online at woodhouse.com. I was just reading that Bruce Willis, the actor, is going to retire from acting. He is suffering from, I think it's aphasia, which is a loss of cognitive ability to understand and do speech. That's really sad. He's 67 years old. He is at the center of one of the great debates. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I don't know if I should admit this. I haven't seen Die Hard. So
this show's over. This show's over.
So I can't join that debate.
We got to pull the plug on this show right there.
I'm not a movie person.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't know.
All right.
Do you think it is? How about you answer the debate?
It's around a Christmas party. So he goes to visit his wife. He's a cop from New York City. He goes, his wife has moved out to L.A., so he goes to see her. They're having a Christmas party, and that's when the whole thing goes crazy. But a lot of people absolutely are convinced that it's a Christmas movie. Doesn't have a lot of Christmas spirit to it, but because it's around a Christmas party, people like it's a Christmas movie.
So do you think it's a Christmas movie?
I'll lean toward yes, but you got to pull me that way. I'm not a huge fan.
Because a lot of people say that when you say what's your... I mean, I know that I can't answer the question, but I have heard a lot of people answer that. What's your favorite Christmas movie? They do say Die Hard. So
Tim, Andrew, Christmas movie or not? Andrew says no. Oh my gosh, Tim hasn't seen Die Hard. This whole thing is off the rails right now.
We better get to a break.
Oh my gosh, just off the rails. 1 hour down and a disappointing end of this hour, which is a really good hour up till now. But
we just lost a lot of viewers on YouTube too.
Okay, next hour, Derrick Walker. He's coming back. Husker fans, we're going to hear from him coming up here in a little bit, and we're going to hear a little bit of the latest episode of Kicking Back with the Cooks, as Lauren and John Cook. It's been a while since they've cut one of those things. They're always full of little funny pearls.
Oh, yes. I mean, some nuggets in there that you've never heard before, which you think you've heard all the John Cook stories, but you haven't. And they come up in Cooking Back with the Cooks every time.
It'll be fun. We'll hear a little bit of that coming up in hour number 2. And the chat room is not happy with your guys' answer about
I'm sorry.
Die Hard.
I'm sorry.
Wow. All right, a thud to the end, folks. I apologize. Shouldn't have gone down that path. Come on back. We'll have another hour, another shot at it.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Shop Woodhouse Ford first and experience the difference. The all-new 2022 F-150 is confidently capable and relentlessly tough. Equipped with features that allow you to work smarter and harder so you can get the job done faster. With 12 models to choose from, the F-150 was built to help you make the most of your work week or weekend. Shop, finance, and buy your way online at WoodhouseFord.com or one of our 3 convenient Ford locations.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. The university has a new undergraduate business and law major. Students majoring in business and law are learning to use legal knowledge to better solve business challenges. They are also gaining skills in regulatory compliance, financial services, securities regulation, and corporate social responsibility. Upon graduation, they will boost the state's talent pool in these critical areas of expertise.
Keep yourself and your loved ones healthy by getting your free COVID-19 vaccine. Plus, when you get a COVID-19 vaccine at your Hy-Vee pharmacy between February 1st and April 30th, you can get a 50-cent Hy-Vee Fuel Saver reward. Talk about savings. Schedule your COVID-19 vaccination appointment today at Hy-Vee.com/COVID vaccine. Some restrictions apply. See pharmacy for more details.
Welcome inside the Acres Broadcast Center. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and this is your Sports Nightly Ticker. Happy Wednesday, Huskers fans. We're over a week and a half, just about a week and a half away from the Huskers spring game. And this morning, offensive coordinator Mark Whipple sat down with the media to talk about his quarterback room and how it's growing and cooperating despite heavy competition for the starting spot.
I think it's one thing, but the way, everybody's competing, but I think they're helping one another out. It's a good room. That's important. You know, they're helping one another out. You miss something talking about it. There's guys that are talking a lot in the meetings and on the field. So, you know, there's not anybody else. There's not any animosity in the group. So they're all trying to get better at different levels and trying to build a library for each of them so that we come back, I can go over with it, you know, before we get to summer. But they'll study all their plays that they've had.
Coming up in this second hour of Sports Nightly, you'll hear from Huskers men's basketball forward. That's Derrick Walker. As he announced just the other day, he will be back for Huskers basketball in the upcoming season. And you'll also hear from John Cook and Lauren Cook West. They'll stop by as we'll hear some of their conversation from the latest episode of Kicking Back with the Cooks podcast. It's the calm before the storm right now in college basketball as the NCAA tournament is going to get going once again this weekend, as well as the NIT tournament. But in the meantime, it's baseball and softball that are busy tonight. And in the Big Ten, George Mason took down Maryland 3-1. Rutgers beat St. Peter's 17-1. Michigan State trying to close the door here on Youngstown State. It's all Sparty right now in the ninth. They're up 12-5. Oakland took down Michigan. They doubled them up 14-7. Toledo playing Ohio State, the Huskers' next opponent on the baseball schedule, and it's 7-6 right now. Toledo hanging on to that lead, trying to get that one done, but still plenty of time left for the Buckeyes to come back. Penn State leads St. Bonaventure. It's 2-1 in the seventh, and postponed tonight was Purdue and Indiana State. D1 softball, Indiana beat Kent State in a barn burner earlier. It was 14-11 in that one. Toledo and Michigan State are still going. They are now in the 11th inning. They both scored in the first extra inning, which in softball is the 8th. They both scored a run, so it's tied at 4 now, and they're going into, I believe it's still in the 11th inning. They're trying to find a solution in that one, but no one wants to take the victory as of yet. And then the only other game in the Big Ten tonight was postponed. That's Indiana State and Illinois. That's the ticker. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, and this is Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The 0-2 from Stracco, and Bredwell swings and lifts it to left and deep, and it's good! A 2-run home run for Ava Bredwell.
The 0-1.
Ripped right at the shortstop. Matthews back to second, and it is a double play. They pick off Flores, who had gotten too far off the bag. Andrews swings and hammers this one deep right field and gone! A rocket halfway up the bleachers in right field for a home run.
The 3-2 pitch.
That's ripped into center field. That's a base hit. It's a gapper in the left center field. Chick scores. Anderson around third, being waved home. The relay throw to the plate, not in time, and the Huskers have taken a 2-1 lead. Ibarra swings and hits this one high in the air. Deep right field, and it's gone! Ibarra and Andrews go back to back.
Hit on the ground to second, might be 2. Second base 1 on to short. Matthews relay throw to first in time, and C.J. Hood, the freshman, gets a double play ball and gets the Huskers out a little bit of danger here in the top of the 6th inning.
And Gray swings and blasts it. Deep right field. It's gone! It's gone! Sidney Gray with a 3-run home run!
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for hour 2 of our Wednesday night show, and boy, all the reaction coming in from the Die Hard movies. Left and right, text coming in, the YouTube stream folks in the chat room are having a good time. You check with your brother and dad.
They said absolutely. I said, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? My brother said absolutely, period. And my dad said yes with 2 exclamation points. So.
There you go. Steve in Bellevue says Die Hard is as much a Christmas movie as Bad Santa. Yes to both. Yippee-ki-yay. Children of the Corn says yippee-ki-yay. I got another text that says, I haven't seen Die Hard, only seen the bits and pieces, but I will say Alan Rickman was one of the best bad guys ever. That is true. He was really good in that movie. He was the heavy in that movie.
If you weren't here, I wouldn't know what yippee-ki-yay meant. So it's a good thing you're here to cover for us both, Greg.
Oh, and somebody else said that only this person, I don't know if we have their name, but says that they need to go watch this movie and report back on it.
All right, Tim, we got some homework.
Tim and Jessica have to go watch.
But I need the weekend to do
Die Hard.
it, so maybe next week we can revisit this topic.
Oh boy,
because there's no way I can do it by tomorrow, so we'll have to for one of the shows next week. We'll get it done.
We'll be here all of April. We got plenty of time to.
Sounds like a great summer show segment.
Work that back in. Just the sad news I heard today about Bruce Willis having to retire. He's suffering from some problems. All right, this hour, Derrick Walker made the announcement that he's coming back. We're going to hear from him. And Kicking Back with the Cooks has a new podcast out. We'll play a little snippet of that as well this hour. But let's start with Husker Hoops. Big news yesterday. Sam Hybe, early in the afternoon, said she was coming back. And before we even hit dinner time, here was Derrick Walker's announcement.
We're going to hear from Sam Hybe coming up tomorrow, so we'll get her take on everything. But, yeah, with Derrick Walker, huge news. And I've had a lot of texts, a lot of people reach out how he's one of their favorite Huskers. He's their favorite Husker on this year's team. He's so nice and kind, and you see him everywhere and always talks to everybody. So big news for Husker fans, and got a chance to talk with him about it here this afternoon. Well, Derrick Walker Jr., you're coming back. Congratulations. Yes, you made the decision yesterday. Take us all through the decision process and why you decided to come back for another year.
It was a tough decision for me because, I'm getting older. I've been in college for a while. So just thinking about life after and what next year would bring versus me leaving or me coming back. And I just thought coming back would be the best thing for me in my college career. Yes, I had a good season this year, but I would love to improve on that this next year and show the world that I can do more.
Did you have like a checklist? Like how does one go about making that kind of decision? I'm sure it's different for everybody, but for you, what was your process?
For me, I kind of just talked to like my family and friends. A lot of guys that's been through this. A lot of guys that's kind of been in the position I'm in, and a lot of them just made a good point out to me. Like if I still want to play after college, the opportunity will always be there. So it's better to just take advantage of being in college while I still can, since I do have the extra year. So they just put a lot of just good perspective into me staying and just gave me a lot of just good reasons for why I should be back next year and things that I can improve on.
So you put out the video and just the response from Husker fans, Husker Nation. I mean, we've been getting text messages into our text line calls, just hoping that you were going to come back. And so when you make the announcement that you are, what was it like getting that kind of response from Husker fans?
It felt amazing just to know that the state of Nebraska loves me, and it shows that I made an impact on guys here, and not only on the court but outside of the court. So that meant a lot for me. It feels like home here, I'm loved here, so I would love to just come here and play it again for these fans, for the state.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that people say is your dedication to, I mean, we see you at other sporting events supporting your fellow student athletes, but we've heard about how you take the time to talk with little kids when you run into them anywhere you might do that. Why has that been so important for you to make that kind of impact off the court?
I'm a nice guy, and I love talking to people. So when little kids walk up to me or whoever it is, I would love to talk to them, especially if they're interested, I would never turn down a kid. I'll never turn down a fan just because they love me, and I love the fans. So just being able to have that attention around me, it just feels great.
I know you guys went into last season with a different kind of goals than maybe where the season ended up. So how much did that also play into your decision to want to maybe help continue to turn this thing around, and knowing the kind of impact you could have as a leader? Did that weigh into the decision as well?
Yeah, definitely. We picked it up towards the end of the season, but when I leave Nebraska, I want to be known as a guy that changed the culture here. I want to be known as a guy that came in and fixed a lot of things with the school and with the community, So I just want to leave a mark here and let everybody know that I'm Derrick Walker and I'm here to make changes for the better.
You had mentioned, in your first answer about how you had a good year last year, but you could improve. 68% field goal percentage. If you had the right attempts numbers, whatever that might be, you would lead not only the Big Ten, but also the entire nation in field goal percentage. I mean, that is just ridiculous. 68% field goal percentage. What went into that?
A lot of it contributed just to my teammates, just put me in positions to score the ball with ease. Hoiberg wanted to get the ball in my hands a lot more, and just me just putting myself in the right position and finishing the bucket. So I give that a lot of that to my teammates. Early on they just hit me a lot off the pick and roll and got me a lot of wide open shots. So I would just like to thank Zoe, Bryce, any of those guys that just passed me the ball. Because they had a huge part in my percentage as well.
So you heard a lot of the analysts that would cover you guys' games when they were calling the game talk about this is the best basketball you're playing of your career. How do you build on that? How do you, Derrick Walker, get better as you've now decided to come back? Where does your game improve in a year from now?
In a year from now, you're going to see me a lot more dominant, a lot more confident, a lot more vocal, and just continue to be a leader. Like I said, I'm not one of those guys that's going to go out there and do too much. I'm going to play my game, but I'm going to play it to the best of my ability. So that's the thing. I just want to change the culture here and just keep playing hard and just showing the world that I'm a really good basketball player.
And, you making the decision to come back and play for Coach Hoiberg. How much do you believe in Fred Hoiberg and what you guys can do together to help change that culture like you were just talking about?
I believe a lot in Fred. He's done a lot for this program as far as just he's had to make difficult changes, difficult decisions. But at the end of the day, he's doing that for the betterment of the team. He's doing that for the betterment of Nebraska, and he's always looking for ways to win. He allows me to lead here, and he allows me to be me. So just right off the bat, he's gave me respect since I've been here, and I love that from him. And he's never tried to change anything about me or my game. So as far as that, I love him as a person and I love him as a coach.
And then just with, you have some guys that have entered the transfer portal. I know some other guys may be weighing their options as well, but you got new guys coming in. How do you as a leader, now that, the plan's in place that you are going to be back, how do you help manage kind of bringing this team together, especially here in the spring and moving into the summer and this workout time, which is so important to a team and what they want to do come next season?
The best thing I can do right now is just paint a picture for these guys. They see what we did last year and they see how we ended last year. And to me, I want to paint a picture to these guys that we can do that all year and we can make the tournament and we can be one of those teams that's still playing in March. So for me, it's coming in every day, focusing on the little details that leads up to the big picture.
And then just what does this time look like now for you and your team, for those of us that are not practicing with the basketball team right now? What's the process like for you guys right now?
Healing our bodies. We went through a long, tough season, so healing our bodies is always number one, but getting better is second, number two, and coming together for number three. That team chemistry is the most important for any young group of guys that's coming into college basketball and wanting to win at a high level. So for us as a team, and even for me, it's just healing our bodies to make sure we're fresh and ready to go for the season next year.
Have you been watching March Madness?
No.
No.
No, I have not.
Kind of pains you a little bit?
It makes me sick.
Yeah.
Just because I know we should be there, but congrats to those guys that are playing. I actually do know a couple, but no, I don't watch it. It makes me sick.
Well, I was going to ask you to give us a breakdown of the Final Four, but I won't do that. But it's got to be motivating, though, to see these runs that these teams are going on as a college basketball player and want to be a part of that, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's always the plan. That should be everyone's goal, is to be playing at this time. This is the best time to be playing college basketball. So really congrats to those guys, and whoever wins, congrats to them.
Well, Derrick, appreciate your time as always. Fantastic stuff, and congratulations. I know Husker Nation is so stoked that you'll be back again next season.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
He was in his car after workouts doing that interview, but he pulled over to the side of the road, so he was
safe,
not interviewing and driving. So
doing it safely. That's well done. That's well done. No, I mean, I felt like of the players who played hard night in and night out for the team, he would be right at the top of the list this past season.
Absolutely, and I think with all the different changes that are going to be coming with the staff, with new guys coming in, transfer portal, he's a key piece to helping bring all of that together. So I know is massive. And then you heard him talking about the momentum that they had at the end of the season, trying to implement some of that, of how they kind of had figured some things out at the end and carrying that over and being a leader. And so, yeah, big for this program to have him coming back.
They're going to get him some help. Blaze is coming, the JUCO Player of the Year, 6'10". You've got Wilhelm rehabbing. He'll be back. He's going to have some bigger bodies around him to take a little bit of that load off of him.
Yeah, and I think he played so well, and you heard him talking about it too, just he made improvements as a player a year ago and still doesn't think he's reached his ceiling. And so, you know, I has a good perspective on it too. Pro ball is always going to be there, but what can you do? You know, you don't want to leave any regrets, right? And for some guys, that's for Bryce McGowan's, and when you got the potential to go pretty high in the NBA draft, yeah, that's a good move. But for another guy that might need another year, and so I think he's got a really good perspective on it, and he's going to come in hungry, and I can't wait to see, because I think some things click for him too, so see how he carries that over into next year.
And you got Sam Hybe lined up for tomorrow.
Yep, she'll be for tomorrow night's show, so we'll get to hear her take on coming back too.
Fantastic. Hey, our Sports Nightly Hotline, it's brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family. Shop Woodhouse first. 18 brands, 16 convenient locations. Simplified car buying to save you time. Shop finance. Buy online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question. We're back with more of the show, including a little snippet from the latest Kicking Back with the Cooks. That's straight ahead.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Pivot control has never been easier. T&L Irrigation now offers a new control panel called Precision Point Touch. It's a full-color 7-inch graphic touchscreen that's easy to use and gives you lots of great tools to make your irrigation faster and more efficient. Set up your pivots the way you want. You can update your older controls to the new Precision Point control panel too. Call your local T&L dealer or visit TLIRR.com. T&L Irrigation, like no other.
The 2022 Mazda CX-5's inviting interior and eye-catching exterior combine passenger comfort and driving pleasure. Equipped with standard all-wheel drive, the award-winning 2022 Mazda CX-5 creates confidence on your journey. The interior surrounds you with sophistication tailored to you. It's a CUV crafted for together. Shop the 2022 Mazda CX-5 by visiting one of our 2 convenient Woodhouse Mazda locations or shop online at woodhouse.com.
The Nebraska FFA is growing leaders
and building communities.
Together, we are strengthening agriculture.
The Nebraska FFA Foundation believes in our future leaders and the communities they serve. We believe in the future of agriculture.
Join us in the I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign. Learn more at neffafoundation.org. Brought to you by Aurora Cooperative. Tougher together, Aurora and you. And Frontier Cooperative.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
It's the final days of Ford Truck Month. Your last chance to save big on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get a Ford Maverick or get after any adventure in a Ford Ranger pickup. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But get moving, offers are ending soon. Get to the final days of Ford Truck Month. Maverick has limited availability. See dealer for inventory stock.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
The Huskers provide the best on the field, and so does Kubota. The new Kubota L60 Limited Edition Series provides the best package for affordability, quality, and comfort, like the deluxe Grand L factory-installed cab or spacious open operator station. Maximize performance with Kubota's best-in-class HST Plus transmission and many other features of the L60 LE Series. Experience the Kubota difference. Visit NebraskaKubotaDealers.com or see Nebraska Equipment in Seward or Grand Kubota in Grand Island.
There's nothing better than the smoky aroma of grilled beef at the ballpark. This is Anne Marie with the Nebraska Beef Council reminding you to pick up a package of steaks or burgers for your next tailgate party. Whether you're setting up in the parking lot or cheering from home, nutritious beef is a home run choice when cheering on the Huskers. Visit beefitswhatsfordinner.com for delicious beef recipes, grilling tips, and tailgate inspirations. Beef, it's what's for dinner in Nebraska.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it's sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Wednesday night. It's been 6 or 7 weeks since we've had a Kicking Back with the Cooks podcast. Coach Cook's been hanging out on beaches, right? I mean, that's what he's been doing.
Yeah. Well, he needed a little breather after the season. It got a little crazy. And then, they've been Hawaii, traveling the globe. But he worked it in, and this one is a doozy, too. They all are, but this one's great, too.
Tim gave me some cliff notes, and you're going to hear them talk about spring volleyball, which the match with Kansas, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. They dabble with some March Madness. Talks about building relationships with his players. They head coaches meetings at Nebraska. He usually sits next to Scott Frost. Imagine that. And something about a saddle story. This has got me intrigued. So let's listen in a little bit of this latest edition of Kicking Back with the Cooks.
Here's the greatest story of the day. So we have a new SWA. Pat Logson's retiring,
and Marquita came over to meet with me in my office, and here I've got your brother's saddle that it smells like a saddle with oil and leather. Just completely smells up my office, and that's their first meeting with me, is a saddle in there for, you know, that he ordered that got delivered here. And anyway, that was the highlight of this morning's meetings.
Is that a saddle to ride Bud with?
Yeah. So, but it's your brother's saddle, and boy, my office reeks like leather.
And you had it in the shower, right?
Well, I put it in the shower on the exercise bike because I had to soak it, because you got to start molding it in a little bit. So it's in the shower in my office. I rolled the exercise bike in there, threw the saddle on top, turned on the shower to soak it, and then you twist the stirrups to get them right. You got to put a stick through them, and so it's sitting there now for 24 hours in the shower.
Any regrets outside of coaching?
Oh, Lauren, I hate it when you ask me these questions.
I know. Put you on the spot.
Yeah, one regret I have. I wish I would. I played college basketball. I wish I would have played college football. I had a chance to do both. I got a better scholarship for basketball, but I always think I would have been a hell of a quarterback. So when I go over and watch football practice, I think, God, it could have been me.
Hey, when we used to play quarterback receiver, Taylor and I, with you when we were younger, you would throw dimes.
Yeah, I know.
You were always the quarterback, so you wouldn't get hit. And then Taylor and I would have to, I don't know, play man-on-man against each other. Well, I don't know what it's called in football, but it was, you always threw those balls right on the money.
I could put it on the money. I'd pick the shoulder and hit it and call it. So, just like Tom Brady.
Maybe Coach Frost, I think he needed a quarterbacks coach. Did they ever find one?
Oh, yeah, they did.
Okay.
Well, he's an offensive coordinator, but he coaches quarterbacks.
I was going to say, maybe you could step in and you know, step away from volleyball and start coaching quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well, we were in the coaches meeting today. I was sitting next to Scott, and he had a piece of paper and a pen. I said, hey, can I drop a couple plays for you?
What did he say?
Well, I think then Trev called on me, so I had to shut it up quick.
I can just picture this. Trev is like the teacher, and you guys are like students in a third grade classroom, and you get in trouble for talking to each other, and you and Scott are passing notes, and
that's kind of how it goes.
Comical. I like the journal idea.
They love it. Well, at least they tell me they love it, but they do a really good job. And what it is, they turn it into me, and I write notes and stuff and give it back. So it's a way we can kind of communicate. And I try to ask them questions to get them to think about things, you know, whether it's their future, what they're doing, how are they getting better, are they accomplishing their goals. So I've got about 50 questions that I came up with, and I just pick out 5 each time and send it to them. So it's pretty cool. And I think they really like it, because some of them write some really in-depth answers to those questions.
You're giving businesses a lot of ideas. This journaling, I mean, that would be great in any setting. You don't have to be a college volleyball team. And then what did you call the small group dinners? BDR?
BDR, building deeper relationships.
Building deeper relationships. I mean, if you're a business owner, you know, find 5 employees one night, take them out to eat, and BDR.
It's a great idea, and as I told you, I asked them their highlights. One of the questions was, what was the highlight of the trip for you? And I'd say about half of them put the small group dinners, and that's been a constant theme every time we've gone. Those small group dinners, they just love it. And again, all I have to tell you, Lauren, is, okay, I have 4 players or 5 players, and we are there for 4 hours. I mean, just think about that. And it's not like I'm carrying the conversation, because I couldn't do that for 4 hours. But they just, and I just sit there and listen, and they just go on and on and on. Of course, and we go to cool places that are interesting. I took them to one group. I took to this Japanese place. Nobody spoke English in there. Their specialty which is called okionama, which is like a Japanese pancake that they make, and they put fish and everything in it, and that's what we had for dinner. And they'd never heard of it. They'd never seen it. Nobody spoke English in there. It was a little hole in the wall, but it was awesome.
You brought up that you played college basketball, so we're going to shift gears. Did you fill out a bracket for the men's basketball tournament?
No.
Do you usually fill out a bracket?
It's against the rules to gamble as a coach in college, so I stay away from that.
I don't know if you remember this. I have two stories about this, but in 4th grade, our classroom did a challenge where you had to fill out a bracket, and then the winner, the teacher would reward them by taking them out to ice cream. And you helped me, you sat down with me and helped me fill out a bracket. And I think Duke actually won that year, or I know they made it to the Final Four. I think they won a championship that year. And I don't know if you remember, but I was obsessed with Duke basketball, and we'll get into that, why I was obsessed with them in a second. But you helped me fill out the bracket, and I ended up being the winner in the classroom, and I got to go out to ice cream with the teacher.
Yeah, I got an NCAA violation letter in my file on that, too.
You did?
No.
Oh.
I'm just messing with you.
Oh, I thought you were being serious. Okay, the reason I'm a Duke fan is, I know you'll remember this, but you were recruiting Megan Hodge, and back when she was in high school, before she went to Penn State, you were recruiting her really hard, and you actually went out to North Carolina to watch a practice in person, and I got to go with you. That was back in the day when you would take me traveling all over the place with you. So we went to North Carolina, and there happened to be the Duke North Carolina basketball game. I think it was at North Carolina.
Yep.
The next day. So I remember we went and watched Megan Hodge practice, and then the next day we went to the Duke North Carolina basketball game, and I fell in love with Duke basketball. I fell in love with Coach K, and that, I think that's one of the best experiences in college athletics, or one of the best. It's similar to Devaney. I mean, the atmosphere was just electric. I can remember it so vividly.
And we didn't talk about the spring match, out in Grand Island. Sold out in 8 minutes. And they told me 37,000 people were online trying to buy tickets, and it was gone in 8 minutes. So that's April 23rd. And the other cool thing, Lauren, is we're going to honor 3 great high school coaches out there, Sharon Zavala, Bill Root, and your nemesis coach at Grand Island Northwest, who put you in the tank out there, that match. Do you remember that match in high school in Pius?
Well, yeah, they beat us out there, but then when it came to when it mattered most,
you got them back.
But
you were in tears, I think, after that match, because they're all chanting, "Who's your daddy?"
I don't think I was in tears. I think I was pissed.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to honor those high school coaches at this match, just because they're legendary Hall of Famers. They've won a million matches, and that's one of the reasons we can't forget our roots in Nebraska volleyball.
And you know who else will be at the spring match?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know?
Baby Madden.
Another surprise guest. Her first Husker volleyball match.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Wow. How about that?
Hey, great stuff. Great stuff. But I had to take my jacket off again because we had to go by. We're talking Duke again. I'll see your Duke, and I'll raise you a Brady Manic North Carolina shirt, Lauren and Coach Cook. But
there you go.
I mean, it's so good. So good. Like, how do they just keep coming up with great stories every single month. It's just hilarious. We're sitting here laughing the whole time. I mean, Coach Cook thinking that he could be
in his office.
He's thinking he could be a quarterback. Like, he's trying to give Coach Frost some plays in a meeting. He's getting in trouble for it by Coach Trev. By Trev. I mean, it's just one thing after another. Just, it's so good. Gold. And it's up right now, the whole thing. That was just a little clip of it. So
the whole thing is posted, Huskers.com. You can go find it there off our Huskers Radio Network Twitter account. You can pull it off that as well. So you're right, great stuff. He's got a saddle in his office. Are you kidding me?
I can only imagine. I mean, surely, look, that was one of the first things when I started here. people warn me about Coach Cook, and hey, he's a character, and he might give you a hard time, and he's got these stories, and but you don't really, I guess, maybe completely understand it till you meet him. You can hear all these things, but I'm sure Marquita was warned a little bit, like, hey, when you walk in this office, you never know. But I mean, I don't know how she could have been warned about a saddle being in there.
Why would you think there would be one in there? I want to spend a quick minute on his. He's always thinking about ways to change things, and these little meetings and group dates is not the right word.
What is it? Building deeper relationships.
Yeah.
BDR.
That's an amazing idea. Take 3 or 4 players and go have dinner. Go sit somewhere and talk and just learn about each other. It's amazing.
When we had Pat Logston on for her podcast last week, she brought that up about Coach Cook, that he's constantly trying to evolve, and the student athlete has evolved, right? And so they're different than when he first started coaching, when he won his first national title, when he first kind of started coaching here. And so to me, those are the coaches that stay. It's not about, your program. It's about that coach and how he continues to evolve to maintain those relationships with those student athletes, he or she. And, so the fact that he's been able to continue to relate, and they still buy in, and they still want to run through a brick wall for Coach Cook, that to me speaks volumes about him and how he's been able to maintain this program being the dynasty that it is because of those relationships that he's been able to build. And even throughout the evolving process of changing the college athletics, the landscape just constantly changing.
Amazing. He's an amazing guy. Husker fans realize that. The Final Four next year is in Omaha. That team probably won't need to leave the state.
Hopefully. Yeah, and it's going to be a big motivating factor.
It will be.
He brought it up when they brought him back after the national title and match, and they were in front of at PBA in front of the women's basketball crowd. He mentioned that hey, Omaha, and so I think that's already something that's being talked about for this team.
They're going to have a huge target on their back.
Yeah,
because they're going to be.
They always do.
They always do. And people panicked in September when they lost 3 in a row, and he wasn't panicking. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and they were figuring out how to build that chemistry, how to work together. And you want to peak. There's all about peaking at the right time. This team peaked at the exact, could not have been more perfect timing. I mean, when Nicklin Hames came in studio and talked about that, hey, they finally put it all together against Texas, right? That's when you want to. That's when you want to.
Yep.
And so they had it. It was a work in progress. They had to figure out how to play together. They did, and they were closer because of that, because they had to fight through some of that adversity it wasn't easy. It was not easy for them a year ago, but they grew so much for that.
I'm going to go over to the office and see that saddle. I'm going to go check that thing out.
We got to get pics. I mean, if you're going to tell a story like that, Coach Cook, we need pictures. We need pictures.
Yeah. Maybe Marquita's got some. Maybe she took a few.
Hey, we're going to get her in here. Yeah. I cannot wait to ask her about that story, because that's Coach Cook's perspective. I can only imagine what her perspective is going to be.
What is this? What is that doing here?
I thought it was like a saddle for his bike.
No. He's into horses now. He bikes too.
Yeah, but I thought maybe, because isn't a saddle on a bike? Isn't that called a saddle too?
I don't know.
Maybe. I didn't. That's what I thought. Because I'm like, why would a horse saddle be in? So. But that's awesome.
Oh, good stuff. The whole thing is up. Go pull it down. It's a great listen if you're sitting at your office tomorrow, or if you're trying to kill time tonight before you go to bed. Be a great listen for you. Hey, buckle up. Put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. 402-413-2400. More of the show coming up.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with 8.7 inches of ground clearance, more than Toyota RAV4 or Honda Passport. It's the best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of July 2020. Visit Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue or at beardmoresubaru.com.
Welcome to Ag Answers, where we answer common questions related to farming and ranching. Today's topic, animal agriculture. There's been a lot of talk suggesting that giving up meat is good for the environment. However, livestock emissions only account for less than 4% of greenhouse gas emissions, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. Also, by reducing meat in your diet, you're missing out on all sorts of beneficial nutrients like protein, iron, and zinc. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Momentum. It's building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. With game-changing work in precision agriculture, nanoscience, and digital humanities. We're unlocking mysteries in brain research, solving the impossible with remote surgery using robots. And we're creating bold futures with world-leading research in early childhood education. We don't slow down, and we're not letting up. We are Nebraska.
And Burkhart grounds to second. Ibarra charges, flips to first in time. And Nebraska storms into Ann Arbor and sweeps a doubleheader from 19th ranked Michigan. They win the nightcap 7-4.
After sweeping Michigan, Nebraska softball returns to Big Ten play when it hosts Rutgers at Bowlin Stadium this weekend. The series begins Friday at 5:30, pregame at 5:20 on the Huskers radio network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
Valley 365 is here, and the time is now to take your farming technology full circle. Valley 365 is the ultimate command center, the new single sign-on platform that brings together our tried and true technology and streamlines your entire operation. Combining the best features of AgSense, Valley Scheduling, Valley VRI, and Valley Insights, Valley 365 is the next level solution for connected crop management. Leverage your data, make the most of your time, and own your tomorrow. Contact your Valley dealer today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Welcome to Ag Answers. Today we're talking about renewable biofuels like corn ethanol and soy biodiesel. Electric vehicles continue to make headlines as we look for ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. But did you know by using ethanol, you can reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 46% compared to traditional gasoline, and by up to 86% when you use biodiesel compared to petroleum diesel? Locally produced biofuels are the here and now solution to combating climate change. They are good for our air, good for our wallets, and good for Nebraska. This message is brought to you by Nebraska's corn and soybean farmers.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Okay, let's get a photo of the bride and groom standing next to that giant mud puddle. Good. Now smile.
Oh, honey, don't look now, but you're covered in mud.
Oh, so is your white tux.
You know what this means, don't you?
Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery is back.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the happiest day of my life. Don't you think we should head to the nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer?
I do.
Trucks and Bucks is back, and you could win one of 8 new trucks. Top prize odds 1 in 336,000.
And Burkhart grounds to second. Ibarra charges, flips to first in time. And Nebraska storms into Ann Arbor and sweeps a doubleheader from 19th ranked Michigan. They win the nightcap 7-4.
After sweeping Michigan, Nebraska softball returns to Big Ten play when it hosts Rutgers at Bowlin Stadium this weekend. The series begins Friday at 5:30, pregame at 5:20 on the Huskers radio network, Huskers.com, and the official Nebraska Athletics app.
So, this date was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for dinner.
For sure. For sure. Not really sure why I'm playing with my keys. I literally took an Uber here.
Oh, me too.
Wow.
Can I
Wanna
ride
grab
you
a beer?
around?
Start the night out right, because you can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. Decide to ride. This message is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber. Copyright 2022, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
They say if you listen hard enough, you can hear the corn grow. It's true. When you're out in the field, you understand its challenges and what it needs to thrive. Channel Seedsmen bring insights from the field to our team of Bayer plant breeders. Their knowledge inspires our product development, From your best ground to your most challenging conditions, our products are designed to perform in your fields. Visit channellistens.com to see our latest innovations. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
We're back inside of our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center. It's sponsored by Acres. It's the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Wednesday night, 402-413-2400. Husker football practice today. We heard from Mark Whipple in hour one. Seemed very pleased with their recent scrimmage. Said they did some red zone work today. Said it's hard down there. Defense doesn't have to cover as much ground. He said they won some of the battles. We won some of the battles, but seemed overly pleased. We heard from Oliver Martin, who I think is really taken to Mickey Joseph as his new receivers coach.
Yeah, how about that? I loved hearing his perspective on some of the things and how he builds kind of what we just talked about with Coach Cook, builds individual relationships. Not all players are the same. Not all players respond to the same type, but you heard him say it. He's going to coach us hard, but he also loves us hard. So that's what I think is really key about Mickey Joseph, is that he is building these relationships, but he's also expects a lot of them, but they're responding to both.
Some news out of the NFL here in the last half hour. Bruce Arians, the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is moving to a front office role. He will no longer be the head coach for the Buccaneers. You wonder, with Tom Brady's recent announcement of coming back, if that has something to do with it. I thought they got along pretty well. It seemed like
I thought he loved him. So maybe he's going to do the same thing and just let us know here in a few weeks that, hey, never mind, I'll come back. You don't think so?
I doubt it. I think when Bruce says that, he's probably done. Still some more reaction to our Die Hard conversation. Tim in Minnesota said, I have seen Die Hard, though it's been quite a while. I suppose a case could be made for it being a Christmas movie, but when I use practicality and common sense logic, I'd have to say that even though a Christmas party is in the story, Die Hard is hardly a Christmas movie because the party turns out to be only a peripheral part of the story. Some deep thoughts from Tim right there.
I mean, I'll have to watch I didn't want to hear any of the, if there was any spoilers there, but Tim and I are going to work on watching the movie over the weekend. We will have a full book report coming up next week.
There you go. Roger on our text line said, the Cooks are awesome. Trips to places like China, bringing in transfers, bringing in transfers like Horde, making them the next star to blossom at the Devaney Center. Best volleyball memory, beating Penn State at the Coliseum in 5 sets after getting down the first 2. That was before Cook was running the show here in Lincoln. So that goes back to the Terry Pettit days.
Listen, there's another text that came in from Mark. Oh, it's a Christmas movie big time.
Yeah.
So I have not heard anybody today say it's not a Christmas movie.
Tim in Minnesota.
Okay, Tim said that.
Yeah,
okay,
he
besides Tim, it seems overwhelmingly that people think it's a Christmas movie.
It's one of the great debates.
Really. Okay, all right.
It is. Your brother and dad are on board. It's
yes.
Christmas movie there today. No hesitation. I hesitate a little bit. I'll lean yes, but to me it's a lot more than that. But crazy.
Am I going to have nightmares after watching it?
Oh, you'll love it. You'll want to watch it again. Tim, you're going to want to see it multiple times. Classic movie. All right, we're late for the break. 402-413-2400. Back with more of the show next.
It's the final days of Ford Truck Month. Your last chance to save big on the only trucks built Ford tough. Work or play, get after it in a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Get a Ford Maverick or get after any adventure in a Ford Ranger pickup. Take advantage of our best offers on the full Ford lineup of trucks. But get moving. Offers are ending soon. Get to the final days of Ford Truck Month. Maverick has limited availability. See dealer for inventory stock.
In a world where fun and cash prizes collide, one game explodes to the forefront. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. Non-stop excitement, a winning thrill ride, and starring you. Until April 12th. Play 2x2 weekly for a chance to win $5,000 or $500. And if your ticket was a 7-day draw, your prize is doubled. Don't miss it. Cash Blast, playing at a lottery retailer near you. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off. with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Shelter Agent Brent Custer in Broken Bow and ask about Shelter's competitive rates.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey folks, this is Famous Dave. You know the difference between an ordinary get-together and a famous one? At most parties, the food's pretty forgettable. But imagine your table loaded with award-winning barbecue, chopped pork sandwiches, roasted chicken, and mouth-watering juicy ribs. From birthdays to corporate events, any size groups, we'll customize our menu to fit your budget. Make your next get-together fun and famous with catering from Famous Dave's. Visit famousdaves.com.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Buckle up, put the phone down. That's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Final few minutes of our Wednesday night sports highlight here on the Huskers Radio Network. Tough one last night up in Omaha. The Huskers were given all kinds of opportunity by the Blue Jays to win that game. Creighton committed 5 errors, but the Husker offense just has been so erratic. I know it's really frustrating. Will Bolt's frustrating the team. They just can't get big hits in big moments. They drop a 3-2 decision. Husker softball routed the Blue Jays yesterday, 15-0. How about that?
I know. And it was funny. I was listening to the radio call, and Maddie Burkhardt had talked about, hey, you can't just put up a big inning. You got to keep scoring. Well, they kept scoring. It's like they heard her. They just kept putting those numbers up on the board. I can't wait. We're going to have Olivia Farrell on tomorrow as well. But Bark in the Park is coming up this Saturday. I'm going to take Sammy up there on Saturday. I cannot wait. Now that basketball's done, and I'm going to dive all into the Diamond Sports. I cannot wait to check out the softball game this weekend.
It's a fun when they do Bark at the Park. That's a really cool thing.
I am. If you say Bark at the Park, I am there. So Sammy loves it. I love it. So we will be checking it out on Saturday.
Ronnie Ravel's team will play Rutgers over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Bowlin Stadium. Weather's going to be okay, not the warmest, but okay, enough to bring your pooch out to have a great time at the ballpark. Husker men are off to Ohio State. That's where I'll be tomorrow. You'll be in the big seat tomorrow. You got a great show lined up.
Yeah, lots of good content coming up this tomorrow. So we will have mentioned Olivia Farrell. We'll have Sam Hybe on. Brant Banks, you'll get to hear that interview with him. Who am I missing?
We were trying to get somebody from the WNBA who is in town. Is that going to happen tomorrow?
Yeah, yes.
She's a former Husker who I think is down with the WNBA franchise in Atlanta, and she's going to be by here tomorrow.
Morgan Shaw Parker. So, yep, she is. She will be stopping by studio, so we'll have her on too. So, lots of good stuff coming up tomorrow.
Yep, she's a former Husker back in town for a little visit, and we got her booked on the show tomorrow night, so that'll be a lot of fun for that. Hopefully, it warms up. It's darn cold out there right now.
There were some snow flurries coming out when I walked in earlier. So, yeah, let's get some.
Now, it could be worse. Talked to my buddy in Fargo today. He goes, woke up to 4 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah, maybe I won't complain as much.
He goes, I refuse to go. He goes, I'm not getting my snowblower out again. He goes, I'm done. It's basically April.
Let's get some more. I saw some early projections. I mentioned this on Friday that looks like spring game is like 61.
Not bad.
That's not bad. Yeah. 61.
We're about 45,000 tickets sold for that. I think, as long as the weather's decent, there'll be a pretty good walk-up crowd next Saturday. Our pregame coverage next Saturday begins at 11, kickoff at 1. Huskers red, white, spring scrimmage. That'll put a wrap on tonight's show. Thanks to Tim. Andrew was here, but he bailed. Didn't like the Duke problems we were giving him, so he rolled out of here. Have a good show tomorrow night.
Can't wait. It'll be fun.
Great. Everybody appreciate it. Great show tonight. Thanks for listening. Go Big Red.
hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no place that treats you like home like Sap Brothers. For 50 years, Sap Brothers has fueled America's heartland and been a reliable partner to local farms and Husker fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment and welcoming guests into their travel centers. Visit www.sapbros.net. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Husker Athletics.
There's always a reason to celebrate, and we are at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair during the Jeep Celebration event. From the legendary 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee to the redesigned new Jeep Compass, Jeep carries a lineup of capable SUVs built for modern adventures on and off-road. Don't miss out. Shop now during the Jeep Celebration event in-store in Blair or online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
As the Huskers head to the seventh inning stretch, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. Call or visit soshvac.com today.
SOS